Hollywood lion pride is in trouble. Ava, their leader and best hunter, is badly injured after their fight with the nomads.
Wow, to see the extent of damage, it's really, really sad.
Without her guidance, the pride will struggle to hunt. Ava's sisters might decide she's a liability.
I mean, first she gets absolutely beaten up by the nomad males and the other females, and now she's been ousted by her own and sort of left out on the edge.
To the south, the MK pride is holding a precarious position. Their dominant males will have to battle to keep their land.
So all the ears have spiked up. There's another lion calling not far away.
The nomad invaders are growing bolder. And the newly discovered MK cubs now face danger at every turn.
I don't think I could bear to see anything happen to those little cubs.
In Zambia's Luangwa Valley, two neighboring prides are laying claim to the land. The once powerful MKs, whose numbers are still rising, and the Hollywood females who must breed to secure their future. Both prides now face the nomads. A wild-card gang of males looking for new territory. Wildlife filmmakers Nathan Pilcher and Sam Davis are in the middle of the action.
What's still?
They'll witness every triumph and every tragedy. Can these two prides beat the odds and survive the greatest challenge of their lives? It's dawn. Veteran cameraman Nathan Pilcher is eager to get back out into the bush. Yesterday, the team made an exciting discovery. One of the MK females, Rosa, has had cubs.
So we left the mother here yesterday, so just having a little look early in the morning. I'm going down to the river to see if she's drinking. Oh, look, cub's right here.
Rosa's already had her morning drink and is taking her 3 cubs back to safety.
So we've just seen the one mother and 3 cubs running here, but they're heading off to the bushes.
This experienced mother has been keeping her cubs hidden in a thicket, away from the pride, since they were born. They're about 8 weeks old, and this is only their second outing. It's a whole new world to explore. Her boy, Spotty, is the spirited one of the 3. His 2 sisters are more cautious. Already, Spotty needs keeping in line. At 2 months old, they have yet to learn how dangerous their world is. Hyenas and leopards are notorious cub killers. Less than half of lion cubs get to see their first birthday. And even fewer make it to adulthood. But the greatest risk of all is from other lions. Rosa's on edge. A lioness has appeared alarmingly close to the cubs. It's not one Nathan recognizes. Rosa's not taking any chances. The lioness gets the message, but doesn't move off completely.
The female's keeping her distance. I think she got her lesson from the mother, having a brief fight and lots of growling.
It wasn't a vicious attack by lion standards, suggesting this female is from Rosa's own pride, the MKs.
If she was a female from another pride, I think she would be really aggressive and see her off completely.
Most lionesses would have introduced their cubs to the rest of the pride by now. But Rosa's a cautious mother and hasn't taken that step yet. She may not be ready, but Spotty, her pluckiest cub, is.
I think these cubs are very curious, this other female, who she is, why they're not allowed to go and see her. I'm sure the cubs are very bored of each other and their own mothers, and the chance to play with someone else would be just so tempting. This might be the first introduction to another lion. So this is a bit of a new experience, you know, who's this other person? Can we play with them?
The cubs seem fascinated with their new playmate. This female from their pride isn't a threat. She may well be their aunt. But Rose is still anxious. With the recent invasion of the nomad males in the valley, the cubs might be better off under the protection of the pride. But for now, Rose is still choosing to keep them hidden. The rest of Rose's pride, the MKs, are a mile upriver. The cubs' fathers, Axel and his brother Mohawk, known as the Punks, are enjoying some family time. It's the strength of bonds between this tight-knit family that's allowed them to hold on to some of the best lion habitat in the Luangwa Valley. It's teeming with prey. But it's also full of predators. There's fierce competition for food and for land. The MKs hold prime territory on the banks of the Luangwa River. 5 miles to the north is the neighboring pride of 6 lionesses, the Hollywoods. Both prides are vulnerable now that the 4 nomad males have invaded the valley.
The prey comes down here, it's very rich, so there's always a strong possibility of pride takeovers. Anything can happen. You can't ever drop your guard.
While Nathan's filming one pride, Sam Davis will cover the other.
I know Nathan's quite excited because he's filmed here quite a lot and he's always only been following one pride. So with me being here too, we can actually follow both prides throughout the season and see how the whole story develops.
At first light, Sam's out looking for the 4 sisters and 2 daughters that make up the Hollywood Pride. She heads to the kill where they were last seen.
So there's the kill. I can see a whole lot of vultures, but no sign of any lions.
Only yesterday, this was the site of a vicious attack. The invading nomads and 2 female accomplices beat up all 6 of the Hollywood females. the group's leader was singled out and badly injured.
So, I mean, it's a good thing that the Hollywoods aren't here, that they've left to get away from the nomads, but not great for us because we can't find them.
Sam's anxious to check on Ava. But after such a beating, there's no way of knowing where the group might have fled. Three hours of searching, and there's still no sign of them. She decides to head back to camp. But then...
There the lines are. 4, 5... Yeah, where's Ava? Hello, girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another one here.
There's one here.
6. After a morning of driving and looking everywhere, we end up finding the Hollywoods up the side of the road. And they've hardly actually moved off. We thought that they would have run further north to get away from the nomads, but it turns out these girls hardly moved. And to be honest, that could be because of the injuries that they sustained in the fight.
Ava is still suffering terribly.
Wow, look at that elbow. So you can actually see some blood on the grass near her elbow. Shame, she really, really was beaten up yesterday. We're really glad to see that she's still alive, obviously. I am interested to see how she is when she gets up.
A closer look at Ava shows some nasty scratches on her back, and there's another serious wound on her thigh. She could have internal injuries too.
There's no knowing what's actually going on inside her body at the moment. Time will tell if Ava is fine and if nothing internally was damaged.
Ava's injuries affect not just her, but the whole pride. She's the most experienced lioness in the group and their best hunter. The others look to her to take the lead. Now, she's out of action.
Looking at some of the Hollywoods here, some of them don't look like they've fed enough, so they'll probably need to eat within the next 2 days. And that would be interesting, considering a lot of them have got injuries.
Whether the injured pride can successfully hunt without Ava remains to be seen. The 4 powerful young nomads, led by Thor, are still wandering through the Hollywoods territory. They've parted company with the 2 rogue females who joined in the attack on Ava, so the brothers are now on their own. They're on a mission to take over a pride and gain a territory. So far, they've directed their aggression toward the Hollywoods. But they're on the move, on a potential collision course with the MKs. In the far south of the MK territory, Nathan can't tear himself away from Rosa and her cubs. But there's a surprise in store. It's Rosa's younger sister, Zuri, with 2 cubs of her own in tow. This careful, first-time mother has kept them hidden until this moment.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. 5 cubs. I mean, brilliant.
This is great news. Having an aunt, as well as a mother to protect them, will give all the cubs a better chance of surviving, especially while they're apart from the rest of the pride. Rosa and Zuri will share childcare and even nurse the others' cubs. It means that if anything happens to one sister, her cubs could still survive. No matter how careful these mothers are, the cubs will only survive if the invading males, the nomads, don't find them. Ultimately, it will be up to the cubs' fathers, the punks, to make sure the nomads keep their distance. A mile north, Axel's roars send a clear message through the bush. This land is ours. As pride leaders, Axel and his brother Mohawk must constantly work to keep the nomads out of the MK's territory.
We've been following their tracks all morning, and they've been leading us around in circles, so they must have been doing a perimeter walk.
At 9 years old, they're no longer in their prime. The older they get, the harder it will be to fight off rival males.
Watching Axel walk here, I've noticed that he has quite a limp. He's looking quite old, to be honest. But he doesn't look like he's in great nick at the moment. Especially with those cubs, they really need some strong males to look after them.
Mohawk and Axel have ruled the MK Pride for 3 years. The fewer the males, the harder it is to keep a pride, so they've done well. But their time might be running out. Right now, the 4 invading nomads are in the middle of the Hollywood's territory, 5 miles upriver. It's been 10 days since they invaded. So far, the nomads have kept away from the MKs, but their chances of meeting are growing. The dry season is taking hold. Prey animals are starting to congregate around the river. And where prey goes, lions follow. It's only a matter of time before the punks and the nomads cross paths.
As the water starts to dry and these 2 prides come closer and closer together, it's going to become really dangerous. And now knowing that the MKs have cubs, I mean, it's really just, it's heightened everything.
While the punks patrol the pride's borders and the mothers and cubs stay hidden, the MK Pride splits even more. Sarabi, the oldest MK female, and 3 others have set off on a hunting trip. They followed a herd of buffalo to a creek, the northern border of their territory. However, midday is not the time to hunt. It's over 100 degrees, hot enough to make anyone bad-tempered. The elephant has no intention of sharing this winter thorn tree, laden with nutritious pods. The lions will wait until nightfall for their meal. The 4 females must choose the right moment to ambush. They want to attack from behind to avoid getting speared by the buffalo's horns. but an early rush blows their cover. Buffalo are the hardest prey to bring down, but they deliver the biggest prize. It's worth persevering. Sam's out early the next morning to see whether the MK lionesses were successful. She heads south through the Hollywood's territory to a dry riverbed where the Hollywood's land ends and the MK's begins. Within minutes of crossing the border, Sam spots a familiar predator. But it's not one of the lions. It's a lone hyena mother and a young cub Sam's seen before. She's named the cub Kadiki, local dialect for little thing.
When they're tiny cubs, they are so cute, with dark fur and just these tiny little faces with big ears. They really are something.
The black fur indicates the cub's about 2 months old. Kadiki won't be weaned for another year or two. Soon her mother will take her to a communal den where she'll live with other cubs and babysitters. But for now, she's alone in the den she was born in and completely dependent on her mother.
Unlike lions, where they have group suckling and the females help each other look after the cubs, all the responsibility relies on this female. So when we see these hyenas trying to scavenge from the leopards and the lions, it's nice to just remind yourself that there's a reason that they're doing it. Obviously, they have to stay alive and they have to feed the cubs back at the den.
Suckling is a huge demand on the mother's energy. To keep Kadiki fed, she's got to keep herself fed too. Every feeding trip she takes leaves the cub alone and vulnerable.
Started hearing some alarm calling. It started with monkeys, and now we can hear the baboons' alarm calling too. And often they're really good indicators that there's a predator nearby.
Right on cue, a leopard appears. Barely 100 yards from the den. Luckily, for the little hyena cub, this skilled hunter is heading in the opposite direction.
If the leopard had been walking by and had to stumble across the cub by itself, the leopard would definitely kill the cub. Any predator will take any opportunity to kill another predator's cub just to lessen the competition for food.
Only a short distance from Kadiki's den, Sam finds Sarabi and her hunting party from the night before. Clearly, the lioness's hard work and patience has paid off.
So it's just amazing. We have the 4 MK females here, and they've managed to take down a buffalo by themselves.
A kill this big is quick to attract attention. And not only from the vultures. The punks have also arrived. This is the first time Sam's seen the MK male so far north since the nomads invaded.
So yeah, you got to wonder where the nomads are and if they can also smell this buffalo carcass. So all the ears have spiked up. They can hear that lion calling.
There's little doubt. It's one of the nomads, and he's close.
Lions are looking really, really interested. There's another lion calling not far away.
The punks immediately abandon the kill and get back to work, marking their border. It's now more urgent than ever they keep control of their territory. While the punks do their duty, the lionesses can reap the benefits of their own hard work.
There's only one female, Sarabi's, left on the kill now. The younger female, she's head off. She's had enough of the sun. It's just the main dominant female left.
In 95-degree heat, after plenty to eat, it's time for a siesta. But Sarabi's torn. She's desperate to join the others in the shade. But she can't bear to give up her kill.
She doesn't know what to do, poor girl.
For the vultures, it's a game of cat and mouse.
She's moving on.
She finally calls it quits. Or maybe just one more bite. The circling vultures act like a beacon, drawing in Luangwa's other predators, which spells trouble for Sarabi.
There's a lot of hyenas gathering on the left now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hyenas, 1 lioness.
Lions and hyenas are each other's worst enemy. While the other lions sleep, Sarabi alone must defend the kill.
But it's kind of a standoff now. 1 lioness against a ton of hyenas.
Larger, more powerful lions will easily kill a hyena.
This is incredibly intense.
But in enough numbers, hyenas can come out on top.
Hyenas keep advancing, but she's not having any of it. Hyenas are dragging the kill. She's trying to decide whether or not it's worth it.
Just as the hyenas begin to get the upper hand, Axel comes to the rescue. The hyenas know better than to mess with a fully grown male lion. But Axel's not really hungry. He's made his point. With the hyenas scattered, the vultures finally get their turn. Only when the lions are at a safe distance do the hyenas dare to move back in. It's now 3 months into the dry season. As more and more lagoons dry up, animals start to come to the river. It's a tough time for prey. But as they bunch together, hunting gets easier for their predators. Nathan's out looking for the Hollywood Pride. He's keen to check on Ava, the most badly injured after their run-in with the nomads 3 days ago. The lionesses have been on the move. Nathan tracks them down at the edge of their favorite hunting ground. But Ava's on her own. Her injuries are making it hard for her to keep up, and Nathan thinks the others might have left her behind on purpose.
I mean, first she gets absolutely beaten up by the nomad males and the other females, and now she's been ousted by her own and sort of left out on the edge. She's kind of been shunned a bit.
An hour later, Ava finally catches up with the pride. But there's no telling how they'll react. Then, a warm welcome, much to Nathan's relief.
It seemed like she was being isolated, and I've certainly seen that before when there's almost a sign of weakness between one of the Pride members. But it looks really, quite positive today. They're all together, very comfortable with each other. You can really see the wound on her back quite clearly from here. So it's dried out, but it's quite deep. Just when she's getting down, that seems to be her biggest problem, and she kind of snarled at the idea of there must be a lot of pain.
But Ava has greater troubles than her pain. All the lionesses are hungry. They haven't eaten for days. But it's Ava, their leader, who always initiates the hunts. Now she's out of action. The question is, can the others manage without her?
She's obviously not in great condition, but the bond of the pride seems to be holding. And she's going to need the bond of this pride to keep her alive.
Come evening, Sam is back at the hyena den in the MK territory. 2-month-old Kadiki is still waiting underground for her mother to return. Sam's worried that with lions on the prowl, she might have run into trouble.
So yeah, just hoping for little Kadiki that Mum does come back. So if she doesn't come back, her cub don't stand a chance.
Finally.
Such good news. Mum's come back to Kadiki. It's really good to see that she's okay. She's a really good mom. She'll actually come back to the den half a dozen times throughout the day, which is just incredible that they invest that amount of time and energy into their cubs. When you compare it to a lion, she'll actually suckle Kadiki for about an hour every time. Whereas when you watch lions suckle, I mean, sometimes it only lasts about 10 minutes and then the females get up and walk away.
Even so, the odds are still stacked against her. Like lions, fewer than half of hyena cubs survive their first year.
Who knows whether Kadiki will make it over the season with a mum like this. She's definitely got a fighting chance.
Oh, that's one of the beautiful moments of being out here in the bush with all the lions walking along the river, the sun rising.
Nathan's caught up with the MK Pride on their morning stroll. They're deep in their territory, far enough from the threatening nomads for everyone to relax. With them is Rosa, mother of the 3 cubs.
So this is the mum right here on the edge of the bank in front of us.
She's waiting for her sister Zuri, who's following behind. They've left their cubs hidden in a thicket. It's risky, but it's vital the sisters take time to renew the family ties before introducing their cubs. They haven't spent much time with the pride since giving birth 2 months ago. This is their chance to reconnect. The stronger the bonds between them, the better protected their cubs will be when they finally join the pride.
And this is a fantastic sight. I mean, this is amazing, just to see so many lions together and just comfortably rubbing against, enjoying a bit of a slow, lazy morning.
While the mothers are enjoying their break, the cubs are home alone. They know instinctively the way to stay safe is to keep hidden. Zuri's cubs are doing what they're told and keeping out of sight. But Rosa's plucky cub, Spotty, is getting bored. It doesn't take his sisters much persuading to follow along. Unsupervised play is the most fun and the most dangerous. Elephants lose their calves to adult lions, so if they come across any cubs, they won't hesitate to kill them. This 5-ton elephant could crush them in a single step. Instinct kicks in. Back to the thicket. Just in time. As darkness descends, Ava and the Hollywood Pride prepare to hunt in their territory to the north. They've had nothing to eat since they were attacked 4 days ago. Everyone's hungry. Usually, Ava takes the lead, but she's lagging behind. She's not fit enough to hunt, and her presence would hinder the group's chances. Without their leader, the Hollywood lionesses seem unsure of what to do. It's Nova, the youngest, who steps up to the mark. Under cover of night, lions have the upper hand over their prey. Apuku heads straight towards Nova. The other lionesses corral the prey and flush it straight to Xena. It's the moment of truth for Ava. As a bystander to the hunt, will the others let her join in? No hesitation. She's one of them. This is just what the Hollywoods need to help get their strength back. They've proved what a strong team they are, even without Ava to lead them. And they've proved to Ava that they can and will look after her. It's been 5 days since the traveling band of nomads invaded from the north and attacked the Hollywood females. They've been laying low since then, but now they're on the move and heading south. The 4 bachelors are crossing the border from the Hollywoods into MK territory. This is the first time they've set foot on MK turf. Immediately, they begin to claim it for themselves. Their arrival couldn't have come at a worse time for Sarabi and the 3 other lionesses in her hunting party. They're still separated and far north of the rest of the MK Pride. Sam arrives to find them, unknowingly heading straight towards the nomads. After attacking the Hollywoods, there's no telling what the nomads will do. One of the MK females makes a brave move. She starts flirting outrageously. The others are quick to join in. It's a clever move. The nomads are too mesmerized to show any aggression. It's possible that the females are in estrus, but it's more likely they're just pretending to be. It's a strategy lionesses use to prevent potential attacks. Sam thinks it's not just their own skins they're saving.
It might be that these females are actually distracting them, keeping them from going south. So keeping them away from the cubs, keeping them away from the inevitable conflict between the punks. Yeah, very interesting.
Over the course of the day, the MK females mate with the nomads numerous times, keeping them occupied for 8 hours.
These females are really trying hard to keep the boys busy, and the boys look really tired.
They'll mate round the clock for 2 or 3 days, just as they would if she were genuinely in estrus. But the lionesses can't keep up the ruse forever. When the nomads lose interest, there'll be nothing to stop them heading farther into MK territory.
So yeah, it could be a really dangerous time in the next few days for the MKs.
Just a couple of miles to the south, Rosa, Zuri, and their cubs have no idea of the danger coming their way.